Good afternoon, traders. It's a recap of the 18th of May, Tuesday session. Really interesting, actually. I mean, just take a look at this. When I spoke to you guys, I think last night, I talked about how we're going to probably run into issues at the higher resistance levels. I was probably more specific around 4190. They ran out of steam at 80, and I probably should have paid more attention to this too, because take a look at this. Look at this triple top right here at at the highs, 4180. You're going to be challenged to take those highs, to blow those highs out, especially overnight. I mean, that's just that's asking for trouble. And you can just see they just rolled over, and you can just see the price can never get above this 18 MA on your 15. So we'll put our session in play right here. And I talked to you yesterday. I said, look, we're going to be long, and we're going to want an opportunity on long. We're going to want to play it from a key area, and that would have been. Let me get this out of here. That would have been a daily pivot, um, which is right here at about 54. We talked about this. You can just see this is the daily MA, which is actually a little way more significant, although all of them should come into play. But we talked about the 55 to 65. 65 never even came into play. 55 was in play for all afternoon. It was looked like they just dragged. And this chart was really telling me that there was weakness, but I felt maybe with the FOMC minutes tomorrow that maybe it would just sit and dry up. And they eventually took advantage of probably the low volume, and volume was light, and they rolled them, and they rolled them late, right at the MA. And like I said, I mean, from a strategy standpoint, you're in a bull market and you want the opportunities. Now, this thing ran from 4180 all the way down to 50. And look at the commercial interest right there. I missed this trade completely. In fact, which one did I get? I got one. Oh, I took this one. Anything in yellow are trades that I took today. And this is a pivot reversal. And these fall really well in line with my strategies. And you take the first crack at the daily pivot if it reverses and confirms, and it did, and it paid out fairly nicely. I managed this one fairly well, and then it rolled over. Uh, this is kind of choppy. I didn't really get involved in a lot of these short positions, and I completely missed this long, which is fine. You can't get them all. I don't want to get them all. And they topped out again at 63, which was right here at the MA on the 15, and they rolled over hard. And I'm going to show you something else here. So now we became, what are we going to do with the pivot? I talked about this. You take these as much as they confirm, but you have to be cautious. You have to let them decide what they're going to do with this location. And right here, and this is around 1 o'clock, they double topped just above the 55 MA and provided a short. I took this trade. In fact, I added on again here. Price failed into this area right here below the pivot. That's usually bearish. And this is telling me, and this whole market from the highs could never accelerate. There was never any indication that this market was going to reverse and start taking off to the upside. And I think it just caved in. And you can see they rolled, and they rolled pretty hard. And I'm actually surprised that they stopped as hard as they did at this number, 35. This is kind of the beginning or just inside a portion of the gap fill, which I believe I showed you was from 39 down to oh 05. And I figured right in here that they would just digest and consolidate and close out the day. And then I saw this double top, and it was late, so I took it. And to be honest with you, I didn't expect this. I did not expect this breakdown, and now the gap fill is in play. And in fact, I still have some on. I think I just got some of them off right down there. I think 12 is the big area. I think it goes down 05, but this, for the most part, I think it's pretty close to the gap fill. And like I spoke to you guys on Sunday night, gaps get filled. It's just a matter of when. And today's pricing was just weak from the get go. You know, once again, overnight, they tried to push it. You know, it's too early. I said it's too early. You always wait to see what happens. Unfortunately, we didn't get this. R1 was right here at 72, and you can see how the price overnight. In fact, and we didn't get a shot at this. I wish this would have been a trade that you have to absolutely take. Uh, they pushed it really hard through R1, and then they came and they kind of consolidated around it. And right here, that double top was a sign. And I don't know. Let's take a look at this because I really want to see what time was that at. Uh, it was about 5 in the morning, so I don't know. For those of you who get up early, have an early cup of coffee, that was a golden opportunity because you could have put those on and you could have walked away for the day. Um, I really need to see this because I want to see if this provided a signal um, to the downside. So here's the overnight high of 80, and check this out. So this is blue to red, and on this platform with Quick Pop, that is a strong signal. This would have been an opportunity to get short, despite it being in the middle of nowhere. But that is a big signal. And see right here, this little digestion. Look at how this little ribbon here is pulling to the downside. If price can't get above that ribbon and rolls over, it means it's going to accelerate to the downside. And this is actually a double top right at R1. And that right here is another short for those who are on at 5 in the morning. And basically, it's area to area. And then a long opportunity for the Bulls. And you can see, with management, there were plenty of shots if you managed, and then there was kind of the puke down here, probably trying to get everybody in and look at the institutions right there. That was a big buy signal, and we kind of stayed above it for a good portion of the day. And so, but you can see we could never really get churning hard above the pivot, which was the daily MA, and you could see it from right here as well. And then they just caved in. And I want to show you something else as well. Where is my Dow chart? Bear with me for a second. It's right. I think it's right there. Let me move this up. Let me open this up. I'm still short of a couple of spoos. Um, for Laura, stop on those and not let those get away from me. I think there's more gap fill, but I'm not gonna get greedy. Um, so take a look at this because it's actually pretty interesting. I talked to you guys about this 34, 080, 070 area, and it was interesting because this morning they really rammed them hard straight to it. And look how you can't see it from this chart, but it stopped on a dime at that MA, and they tried to rebuild, and they couldn't get. You could see on the 15 here in the down. This is why I keep talking about moving averages. Everything is under this ribbon, which is pretty significant in this platform. And this is just a better understanding of a platform that I helped design some of these charts. So, like I said, if anybody is intrigued by this platform, in terms of trading. Maybe your platform provides it in a different way. But price underneath this is very bearish. And you can see that it struggled to get above the MAs and the Dow. And look at that bar right there at about, that came in at 3 o'clock. Who's expecting it on the bell? Looks like there was probably an abundance of orders. They were set to sell at 3 o'clock. The market was showing weaknesses. They kept coming and challenging, and then they just ripped through everything. I don't know where we're going tomorrow. You know, I'll pay close attention to seeing this correctly? 33.4, but this doesn't sound right. Oh, this is. Yes, yes, I apologize. I'm just so stuck on 34,000. You got right here, and I've talked about how, why isn't the Dow really getting going? Although it looked like it. And I kept, I believe this is 918. It's the 50 MA in the Dow. I don't know if we're going there, but you can see it falls in line really nicely at this trend line. So pay attention. If you get a hard sell off, 33,450, let's just call it. Uh, that'd be another 400 points, 450. You're talking about 40 more handles in the ES. Uh, let's just see how this lines up. 40 handles from here. I take a bit, yeah. 40 handles from 112 would take us down to about 60. Yeah, lines up pretty well with right here. This is the 50 and the ES would take you down to here. I don't know if we're going here, guys, but I think it's important. This is why I do the homework, because I'm prepared for any type of breakout and any approach of extreme support and a resistance. And there's a little more gap fill. I don't know what they're going to do before. If you get a hard sell off in the morning, you want to take advantage of it and see what the bigs are doing if price goes to here. I don't know. They might fill the gap and hold, but you can see these are triple tops all the way across the board in all the markets, and that's pretty bearish. This is the ES. I apologize. Uh, this is the Dow right here. So that's the possibility if we really explode to the downside. I just don't know. So, we're just gonna have, once again, we'll just have to see how the morning session plays out or the overnight session plays out, whether or not they're gonna, are the people gonna start panicking overnight and push it? And if they do, then you're gonna really want to take advantage of those extreme lower levels to look for a buying opportunity, because I guarantee you, unless something drastic occurs that confirms further weakness in the market, they're going to come in and jump on the value as they often do, unless we go into a corrective trade. And, let's take a look at this. That's a hard bounce. And this is why I talk about the extreme pricing and how it gets overdone. And these are the results. You get these hard sell offs. Like I said, I talked about this area. This is going to be a big number. 33, call 33.4, and the ES is going to come in at about 40.42. So if and when we get there, you'll worry about it. Right now, where we're at, we're all above it. We still, usually 4100 is going to be a big issue. In fact, let's take a look at the levels tomorrow. I just want to see where they're at before I sign off. Um, So you can see already the daily pivot has come all the way down here to 35 because of that huge sell-off. Numbers are going to be pretty wide. '07 is S1. This is close to the gap fill. And 4092, and here's S2 is 65, which I think is a huge number. I don't know if you're going to see it, but we'll just see how it plays out. This is a pretty hard sell off. It looks like they just cashed in late, and they didn't give you much of an opportunity unless you're trading late and you're looking for it. And that's why I always say, keep this in mind. When they leave these gaps. In fact, since I'm on, might as well throw in another gap because I believe there's one more. Oh, let's take a look at this. So here's the gap I just talked about down to '08. There should be one more, I think, that we didn't fill. I think it's right here. And that's at 66, right below S2 down to about 50 something. So, and that'll take it to some super huge support. Don't know if we're getting there, traders. I'm just bringing this to your attention. That's it. So, you know, once again, you saw the digestion at the 18 MA on your daily, was your daily pivot. You're in a bull trend. You want to take the reversal longs when they confirm, but you can see they fought it and they fought it and they never really could get above 60. And they were telling you they were having problems. It was late. Like I say, and unless you were on, like I took advantage of it. I've been looking for this for a while, and they gave it to you, the double top, and then they just faded late off that MA. So, I wasn't expecting this, but you know they just jumped on it, and the gap, for the most part, is in the process of filling. So, this is the end of the day. Um, you know, Tomorrow, I really don't know what to tell you as of now because I don't know the reaction this is going to have overnight. Because, the overnight traders pushed it and pushed it, and then anybody who had longs probably just got choked out of all of them. And this right here was just a bailout, or they just caved in. So I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be an overnight reaction that's going to push it further. We're just going to have to wait and see, and we'll take it from there. There's nothing more we can do. Do the homework, look at the locations, pay attention to the extreme levels, and if you get confirmation from them, you react to them. And like I said, at some point, we're going to get, the bull trend. This is bull trend corrective, and we could be looking to maybe kick maybe more corrective trade and maybe turn into a more of a neutral phase. We've been in a bull trend for a really long time. I don't know exactly what would create it. I think any hard failure of the 50 and this MA and actually this trend line would probably be trouble for the market because we most likely will fight and challenge, which is the 100 MA right here. And right in here will put us into a neutral phase. Any break of this, it would be bearish, and then you start pushing to the two. But I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I share this and I provide this extended, observation because I want you guys to see what happens when you break out of your trading range. And that's what extreme trading is about, being prepared for when price breaks out of what was actually a consolidated trading. We were in a trading range yesterday from 40 to 60, and for the most part, it was much the same until they pulled the rug out it late. And I'm sure a lot of traders did not expect this. You could see here volume wasn't extremely high. So, you know what? It was a low volume sell off, and they could take advantage of that. So, that's today's trade in a nutshell. I can't give you anything right now. I don't see anything. I like to really see how this plays out overnight. If you guys want to check in on the morning, I can maybe pop in around 8 and give you guys a better uh, game plan. But I think you can see where I go from. I'm all about the areas and trading from one area to the next if and when they come into play. And sometimes they don't. And I don't always trade it. Sometimes there's days where if I don't see what I like, I don't trade it. I truly believe in being disciplined and patient. And if it means not trading, so be it. If I miss something, I'm not too concerned about it. I'd rather not put on a trade. I'd rather not put a trade on that I'm uncertain about and lose money. It doesn't make sense. It's about sticking to your sticking to your game plan and executing it. That's what it's about. And being patient enough to wait for it and engage when it comes into play. All right, guys, I don't want to overdo it. Have a great night. And, I think you're going to get some action tomorrow, so be ready to fire. Have a great night, traders. Take care.